realized everyone believes in me more than I do. And I realized that has to change. If I want my business to succeed, if I want to make a dent in chronic pain, I have to believe in myself more than everyone else.
Hello there, I'm your host, Tiffany Gilliland, an Australian business and mindset coach with 10 years' experience in online marketing and the creator of the Business Bravery Framework. I help coaches to be brave so you can sign more clients even if you hate marketing and sales feel icky. From signing your next paying clients through to launching that dream group coaching program, the Business Bravery Framework helps you take bigger leaps without the mindset spirals. It's helped my clients double their investment in me, make thousands of dollars, and truly build their dream business. Today, I'm chatting with Jen Ushold, a physical therapist with over 30 years of experience. She's passionate about helping people move beyond pain and into greater well-being. Jen graduated from the University of Scranton and has spent most of her career in outpatient care, blending science with compassion. She's also a national board certified health and wellness coach, a fellow in pain science, and a positive intelligence coach. Jen combines these skills to help people create lasting change in both body and mind. Today, she's program director for certification in lifestyle medicine at Evidence in Motion, teaches with several organizations, and runs her own private practice. Outside of work, she's a proud mum of 3 who loves the power of laughter and connection. With that said, this is an amazing episode, and I can't wait to share with you Jen's stories of business bravery, past, present, and future. Now, who's ready for some business bravery inspiration? Let's dive in. Hello, everyone. I am super excited to be here with my guest this week, Jen Ushold. I'm super excited to dive into everything that she has going on, if not partly because I myself deal with chronic pain and we've already had some very illuminating chats and things that I've been thinking about since we chatted on our coffee chat before now, so I'm very excited. Jen, tell us more about you and who you help and all of that good stuff.
Absolutely. I am super eager, though, to hear what has been percolating in your mind since we chatted. So, yes, as your listeners know, I'm a physical therapist, and my passion, my bold stance is that pain is not a life sentence. And so, the message I'm trying to bring to the world is that through using both pain science and mental fitness, we really can make big changes in pain. And the cool thing is, it's all evidence based. So we're not just, selling snake oil or anything like that here. We are really using strategies that science supports. And most importantly, the human is the most important element. So we have all these options, but the ones we choose depends on each person, their story, their goals, their desires, and what they're willing to do. So that's me in a nutshell.
Yeah. Oh, wow. So to answer your question about what's been percolating since we chatted, I know this might seem awkward for the listeners, but yeah, it was that the concept of like where your nervous system is at. So your nervous system is kind of raised with the pain, and then sort of, or yeah, and then when you have the pain, you have sort of less of a threshold to handle things and life things and that kind of thing. I'm probably not explaining it properly. You can probably explain to me, but there was drawings and
Yes, we did our little
yeah.
story. Absolutely. Yeah, just to summarize that for your listeners is that our nervous system is at a baseline and it's like a very high-tech alarm. And we want our alarm to go off on our house if a brick goes through the window. But then things happen in our lives, any number of dozens and dozens of things, and that sensitivity might get elevated. And therefore, a leaf might set off our alarm rather than a brick. But the take home message there is that your house, your body is okay. And we really want to focus on the sensitivity of the alarm. And so that's a lot of the work I'm doing. And it's full body. It's not just mind. It is every ology that we have that goes into someone's experience of pain.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like when you were explaining that concept to me, I could definitely think about times for myself where there's been where I've been able to handle the pain better, like the that sort of thing, and then other times where it's just like, oh, everything's been elevated and the car alarm type situation of yeah, everything's kind of not going right, and yeah, I can
Yeah.
kind of both things, and it's sort of yeah, it's sort of interesting how just you explaining it that way sort of created this new light on it, and I was like, oh, hey, like it's so interesting how the understanding of what's going on sort of can help deal with the pain a bit more if that or
Okay,
easier.
we didn't get into this, but it is actually our two top strategies for helping people with pain are education and exercise. And
Mm,
it's very cool because we have studies of brain scans.
mm,
The amount of pain is like all these red blobs. We teach them about pain, and
yeah.
then suddenly their brain scan changes dramatically.
Yeah.
There are people I've known who, I did a 2 hour session with a guy once many years ago, and I gave him a fire hydrant approach. That's what he wanted. He couldn't afford any more. And then I didn't know if I helped him. And I saw
Mm,
him socially like 2 or 3 years later. I'm like, hey, how you doing? He's like, I am 95% better. So
mm,
for him, that knowledge was a
yeah.
game changer. It's
Mm,
important for everyone. And more often than not, we need other strategies as well.
yeah.
So thank
Yeah.
you for bringing that up unintentionally.
Well, I mean, yeah, that was my experience then. Also, I guess with some of my mindset stuff, it's like, oh, when you understand the emotion, it's maybe like it helps you take that step back and it's not overwhelming you. And I figure it's similar with pain, but also my own experience, like my chronic pain started when I was 18. And it took about 10 years to get a diagnosis. And before that, I had a lot of doctors who were like shaking their head, calling in colleagues, oh, just try this cream or that cream and this and that. And yeah, and just that whole thing of finally, after 10 years, I had a doctor who told me it wasn't all in my head and I wasn't crazy. And then suddenly, like, my pain went from like 95% to 15% just by that knowledge and a couple of
Yes.
other things. And yeah, so
That is a tremendous example,
yeah.
along with the validation, right? Because when you go see a doctor who supposedly you trust and they tell you that it's all in your head,
Mm,
that's going to really spin up your nervous system. It's like, no, 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 no. I really am feeling these things. And it may not be you feel it in your neck or your back or your shoulder. We may not need to address the neck or back or shoulder, but the pain is still real. We have
yeah.
never, ever scanned fake pain. So yeah, you have that experience of how important it is to understand your situation.
Mm,
It's no
yeah.
different than anything though. I
Mm,
mean, if somebody decided to toss me into a coffee shop and make me a barista for a day and it's their busiest time, I would have anxiety and pain and nausea throughout the yin yang because I don't know what I'm doing. So knowledge is really important in pretty much
mm,
everything, including
yeah.
pain.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's such a great point. Oh, okay. So tell us then what brave things are you doing in your business or your life or yeah,
Yeah.
wherever you want to go at the moment.
I am in a place of tapping into a lot of bravery. So
Yeah.
I wasn't planning on having to be this brave, but it's probably good for me. It's a gift. A few years ago, I went through a contentious divorce, and suddenly, having my own little business was play money, and now suddenly it's my livelihood. So I've been working really hard and taking a lot of leaps that I never would have taken 3 to 5 years ago. And one of the really exciting things I'm doing is I am trying to get onto college campuses to bring this message about pain and stress to students because, I mean, it's a really high percentage, about 54% in the US
Mm,
of students that have pain. And so to get them at that early stage, I think will really help them and future generations as well. And I am trying to do more public speaking because I love the one-on-one,
mm,
but I'm trying harder to get out there so that I can create a bigger ripple
mm.
because we have a big problem with chronic pain in this country and our world.
Mm. Yeah,
So,
definitely. And I mean, chronic pain, like, oh, sorry, there's so many things I want to say, but I guess I just want to say, like you said, that we have a problem with chronic pain. And I think one of the biggest problems can be that it gets harder to talk about it the longer you have it sometimes. Like, when you're dealing with people and like friends and things like that, sometimes you can go, oh yeah, look, I can't do that coffee meetup because, I'm unwell. But after a while, you don't want to be the unwell person, or yeah, I don't know, like, and I think there can be a real thing about maybe not bringing it up all the time, or I don't know, maybe like, do you see that from your perspective? And is that just my own biases at play? And yeah.
It is not your own biases. Pain shows up differently in for everyone.
Mm,
And there are people who are really, really focused on the pain. So they are constantly either worrying about it or talking about it or seeking new treatments. And while their intention is to ease their pain, the likelihood is they're actually ramping their nervous system up and potentially causing more pain. And so it's not often, but I've had a couple of clients and I said, "Are you up for a challenge?" And they said, "Yes." And I was like, "Don't talk about your pain this weekend. Just say nothing to no one about your pain because we want to give different messaging to the nervous system."
mm,
And so the opposite is also true, though,
mm,
right? So if somebody is backing out of social experiences and not going for walks with friends, and your friends care about you and they want to know. And at the same time, it's where's this point of sharing and connecting with my friends versus the point of it's all I'm talking about. So it's
mm,
finding this balance point and having friends and family that understand and validate. They don't need to know what it's like to be the pain you're having, but they have to respect that, you know what, today I can go for a 10-minute walk with you. And
mm.
I hope next week we can do a mile. So whatever it is.
Yeah.
So it does show up on both sides.
Yeah, definitely. I know, like, I've kind of struggled with that whole do I talk about it? Do I not talk about it? Just because for a long time, like, I didn't want to talk about it because, like, I felt like it sort of added to the pain for me. But then I met some people who, like, they have podcasts about chronic pain and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, oh, maybe I should be talking about it more. And yeah, so there's a bit of that going on too. So,
I think it would depend on what is your intention
yeah.
behind talking about it. Because some people just want to talk about it and complain. And are you familiar with Brene Brown over there?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
I
She's
wish she
just as
needed more
popular.
friends because I would apply for the job, but she probably doesn't. So, anyway, have you ever heard about her square piece of paper, her 1 inch square piece of paper?
No, I haven't. Remind me, please. Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. I don't remember which book it's from, but she talks about the people that you're going to share, like truly share the all of you, they fit on a 1 inch square piece of paper. And those people ideally never know, right? So let's just say you're married and you're in a great relationship. You don't really want to tell your husband that he's on this square piece of paper because you know what? You might take him off of your square piece of paper, and that is only for you to decide. And so having those people that you can really trust with your entire heart and all of your vulnerability, I would say those are the people to share your experiences with from the intention of whatever your intention is, that's positive and to
Yeah.
help you move along in your pain journey.
Mm, yeah. Yeah. Oof. Okay. Definitely some things to think about there. So I'd like to go back to the bravery stuff that you're doing as well. And just you said you're getting like looking to get to do more speaking and getting more college campuses. What are the big brave shifts for you in terms of like making that happen? What are some of the steps you're going through? Maybe some of the thought process. I know there's going to be a lot of people listening, and myself included. I have plans to get on real world stages and things this year. So yeah.
Okay, the timing of this podcast is really good because I think I started my fourth week. I joined a specific program called Wealth Builder, and it is about so much more than building wealth. And it is really, we spent an entire week on money mindset and shifting those things. And so I was in a different meeting 2 weeks ago and I had never met these people. It was an international crowd. And I gave my little 1-2 of what I do. And, I'm struggling with the business side. And this one woman, she comes on. I'm embarrassed to even say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. And she's like, "You're brilliant." And I just remember shaking my head. And I'm like, "What?" And then she said, "You've got all this great knowledge." And then she just kind of went into a spiral of like some good things about the business side that I could try. And I just sat with that. And then I realized everyone believes in me more than I do. And I realized that has to change. If I want my business to succeed, if I want to make a dent in chronic pain, I have to believe in myself more than everyone else. And I'll tell you what, that was such a powerful shift because
Yeah.
now I wake up, I have little notes all over my house. I am enough. I'm a money magnet. I'm a client magnet. And I'm really doing the work. And it was also recommended. Have you heard of the book, Think and Grow Rich
Oh, yeah.
by, yeah, I think
Napoleon Hill.
everybody's
Is
read
that
it
that one?
except for me.
Yeah.
And so
Mm.
I've been taking notes and it tells you what to do each day. And I'm just following these things to a T.
Mm.
And my balance is so much better. I'm not as much freaking out. Like if a client cancels or something like that, I'm like, it's all going to work out. Like this is my time. My time is here. And that ability to just shift and decide, I need to believe in myself as much as everyone else was
Yeah.
ridiculously powerful.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh, I went through something similar like for years. Like I've run my business. I started out in marketing services and then moved into coaching. And for all of my clients, like I just for the longest time, I believed in them more than me. They earned more money than me. And
Mm,
yeah, it was like for me, it became this decision I had to make of like, yes, like I believe in myself and I believe it's possible for me, not just for everyone else. I just sort of felt like there was something lacking in me that, I
right.
didn't want the world to know, but that was the reason. And yeah, like there was this
Right.
decision I had to make. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, and I like the timing of the Wealth Builder program because not only it really doesn't matter how much I believe, I do have to believe. However, if I'm not taking action,
yeah,
then it doesn't really matter how much I believe. So
true. Yeah,
it's never one thing, whether it's pain
mm,
or health or getting wealthy and getting out of debt, it's never one thing. And
yeah,
so that's my biggest shift and
mm,
what I'm working on right now in terms of
yeah,
bravery. And
yeah.
there's also a book. Have you heard of the book, The One Person, $1 Million Business?
Oh, no, hang on, writing that one down.
Yeah, it's a pretty good one. I can't remember the author's name, but I'll tell you, here's the secret
Mm,
is that you really can't do it alone. So
yeah,
I'm realizing, you know what, I do need to tap into other people. I need to network more. I need to build more of a professional community, and I need to be willing to invest in myself and the business. And so while I might not have employees and I'm a solopreneur in that way, we
mm,
still need people to help us along the way.
yeah, definitely. A business friend of mine, Maggie, she runs the Chaos to Clarity podcast and a bunch of other things, like a whole summit and everything. Her thing that she says is like it takes a village to run a bit, like it takes like that whole it takes a village to for children, but it also takes a village for a business. And it's like when you think about that, it's just like, oh yeah, that is so true. Like it's
So true. I think it takes a village to do anything because
yeah.
I'm using the same framework to help people navigate divorce. It takes a village to get through divorce. I can't tell you, my closest friends now I met in a divorce support group.
Mm,
So,
yeah.
yeah, the village is real.
Coaches, if you're feeling frustrated that you're doing all the things but still not signing clients, this is for you. You're a new coach, you know coaching can change lives, and you're ready to sign your first two or more high ticket paying clients already, but it's just not happening. You're posting content, you're showing up, but your inbox is crickets, while your coach friends seem to be signing clients left and right with ease. You're starting to wonder, is it my offer? My niche, or maybe is it just me? Well, let me tell you, it's not just you. And you don't need another freebie or some vague advice that's not going to work for you. You need a clear, repeatable strategy and support that gets you focused on the right tasks. That's exactly what we do inside the Brave Coach Breakthrough, my 3-month one-on-one coaching program for new coaches who are ready to finally sign their first two or more high ticket clients. We blend practical marketing foundations with the mindset work that actually gets results because I know what it's like to think, who am I to be a coach? Can I really charge that much? I don't want to be too salesy. And my clients, they've been there too, and I've helped them move through it. Like my client M, who signed her first two clients in 60 days without a big launch. Another client D, who booked her first discovery call within 3 weeks of working with me and signed her first paying client a few weeks later. Or Tracy and Jess, who launched their first group program, signed their first four clients, and doubled their investment in me. You can do this too with the right support. We'll build your signature coaching package, clarify your message, the exact words you want to be using, and create a client signing strategy that feels like you, feels like the right fit for your personality. The whole program is designed to double your investment and make sure you have repeatable systems to keep signing clients well into the future. I have 4 spots open at the time of recording, but these will go fast. Book your free strategy call at tiffanyGstudios.com, Tiffany, G for golf, Studios.com, or find me over on Instagram at Tiffany G Studios, exact same spelling, no spaces, no underscores, and DM me the word breakthrough or just say, hi, I heard you on the podcast. You can be the coach who gets paid to change lives. Let's make it happen. Okay, so then if you don't mind me asking this question, for
I do not.
anybody who's like maybe struggling to maybe believe in themselves, what is something you could offer to that person who's maybe struggling on that side of things from your perspective, like making that shift?
We're going to ponder that for just a moment or
Yeah.
two. I think it's taking the time. This is where my work in mental fitness comes in. And mental fitness is learning how to shift your brain from being your worst enemy to your best friend. And so, if you want to shift to that part of where you believe and you can activate and you're empathetic with yourself and others, it's a different part of your brain than the woe is me, I'm never going to do this, I'm not good enough. And so, getting really curious about why this is important to you
Mm,
and what happens when you've accomplished it,
mm,
and what does life look like in that place. And so I am spending time seeing myself, going to visit my daughter in Spain because I haven't been there in 6 years because I don't have the money to go. And I am seeing myself choosing to go on a trip with my sisters in the fall, and just really honing in on your why. It is Japanese term ikigai. Do you know that term?
yes, the is that the continuous improvement one or the one like your soul's
Purpose?
purpose? Soul's purpose.
Yeah, the purpose one. Yeah. Yeah. So first of all, it's a fun word. So I love that word. But getting clear on your ikigai, right? When you wake up every day, you got something good to do for yourself and the world. Let's go get it. You wake up in the morning and you're full of nuts and anxious and things, which I did for years. It's going to be a much harder day to get through.
Yeah, oh, that's such a good point, actually. Even as you say that, I'm thinking about how actually there's definitely room for myself there of like when I wake up, just maybe tapping into my purpose or imagining my purpose. Like I do that stuff going to sleep, but when I wake up, I'm kind of like, okay, we can get up, we can do this, as opposed to, hey, I have a purpose and tapping into that stuff.
It actually shocks me how well it works because now I wake up and I have this phrase from the divorce group, but it works really well for business people too. The name of my business, which you can see, is I Rise for Me. So it's I can, I
Mm,
am, I will, I rise. And so I just have that on repeat throughout my day. I
yeah.
can, I am, I will, I rise.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, how does that work for somebody with chronic pain like that? The I can, I am, like how how does like walk me through a day in the life of someone with chronic pain when they're doing that? I'm fascinated.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm just going to make up a scenario.
If they
Someone who really struggles with low back pain and they can barely get through the day, and they wake up and they're like, not going to make it through this day. What's the smallest first step? Smallest first step is to get up out of bed. I can get out of bed. We don't need to worry about what's going to happen after lunch when your pain really kicks in. Right now, we just need to get you up out of bed. And so I can. And then in that same moment, oh, I am getting out of bed. Hmm, I will go wash my face and brush my teeth. And all of a sudden, you've risen. So that is just one tiny example. And when it comes to pain, pain is information, and
Mm,
we always get to choose what to do with that information. And a lot of times, the longer someone's had pain, that pain is more because of a highly sensitized nervous system responding to a leaf rather than a brick. Okay, do I need to learn more about how to get my system down? Do I have strategies because of clinicians I've worked with? What are those strategies and what can I use? And we want you to have just a whole host of options. Not that you're doing all these things every day, but to be able to choose. You know what? Usually journaling helps my pain chill out a bit. Today I'm just not feeling it. Okay, then don't journal today. I'm up for a 5 minute walk. Great, go for a 5 minute walk. And so it becomes this combination of knowledge
mm,
and choice
yeah.
to empower you to move through.
Mm. Oh, definitely. Yeah, because I know like sometimes when the pain is strong, it can be really easy to just be like, oh, like to fall into it a bit and maybe not take any actions or and then feel like you don't have options and then the depression that can come with chronic pain can come up. So yeah, just I can see how empowering that is for sure.
We call that like the roundabout of pain, right? You said so many things. You have the pain. You don't want to do anything. You stop moving. This turns into disuse and depression. And, we start to have these. What are our exit points? Our exit points are understand pain better
Yeah.
and know what your strategies are. Exit points are focus on sleep. What are goals you want to have? And then exercise. Did I say it? Sleep, exercise, education, and goals. Yeah. So
Mm,
those are our four key areas. And then within that, there's still so many other options.
yeah.
But tunnel vision happens when people have pain. And it seems intuitive
Mm,
that we should stop and rest and do nothing, which
mm,
is actually one of the worst things we can do for a nervous system that's super riled up. And even back surgery. 20 years ago, I was a PT, people had back surgery and they would be in bed flat for 4 to 6 weeks. Well, now these people are up and walking the same day because we know how important movement and blood flow is to
mm.
ease that nervous system.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh. Actually, I don't know. Sorry, similar story for me. I haven't had back surgery, but I have scoliosis, which is a curved spine. So my back goes out. If I'm not looking after it, it can go out and that kind of thing. Hasn't happened to me for a very long time because I do preventative stuff. But years and years ago at the beginning, I just didn't know this. And so it was really common for my back to go out and just to be lying in bed. And then like I had a physical therapist who actually sort of said, oh no, actually the best thing you can do is get out and walk. Like, yes, take some Nurofen, the ibuprofen, but yeah, get out and do some walking and just that one tiny piece of information and just that whole difference in how we do things now is just yeah, the power
Yeah.
of exercise and ooh, yeah.
Yes. And that also supports the power of knowledge
Mm,
because you were doing what you truly thought was best for you. You
mm,
thought that was the best way to get over that
yeah,
back pain.
yeah,
And you got this tiny piece of knowledge, which isn't tiny at all. And look what it's done for you in terms of easing your symptoms.
yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. I mean, I do preventative stuff now and everything, so that kind of things. But if I slip on the preventative and something happens and I go, oh yeah, I know how I got here. Let's get back into everything and yeah.
I love exactly what you're saying because this is what I'm trying to work with my clients on too. You're going to have pain.
Yeah.
We want you to have the strategies to have it occur less often, which you're doing. We
Mm,
want you to have strategies where you can recover more quickly, and we want you to have strategies to ease the intensity.
mm,
And a big piece of that is all that beautiful preventative work that you're doing.
mm. Yeah. Oh, thank you.
You're
I'll
welcome.
take that feedback. Thank you.
Take it.
Okay. All right. So Shifting back into some more bravery stuff too. Tell me about when you got started with your business, some sort of brave moves you had to make or shifts you had to make. Yeah, tell us that story, please.
All right. So I was a PT in Indiana in the middle of the United States, and I was either pregnant or I just had my third child. And one of my neighbors said, I want you to come to my house after I have my total hip. And I was like, well, I don't do that. And he's like, well, yeah, you do. You can. And I'm like, can I? And so he was my first client. And I would take my little table, walk down 3 or 4 houses to his house, and I treated him. And then I got a very small office there. Less than a year later, we moved to Virginia, and my kids were little. So I thought, I'm not going to continue this business right now. So I got a part-time job in a clinic, but I was very upfront. I said, I have my own business. I'd like to build it. There will be no crossover. And he's like, it's fine, totally supportive. And so it just organically built itself. And then in 2013, I told him, I said, I think I'm going to go on my own again. He's like, it's about time. You've been pretty much running your own clinic in my place here. I was like, okay. And so then I was doing mostly physical therapy. I will tell you a huge not breadwinner, money saver is that I've never gotten my own space. I have always just shared a space with another provider and like rented a room. And so I didn't have that 24/7 overhead going, which I think was really helpful. 2020, COVID hit the world and I wasn't in a good situation. And so I was like, okay, I don't know what's going on with the world. So I'm going to pull out of this bad lease and I'm going to just move my table home. It's shocking now how many people love to come to see me at my house. I see more people at my house now than I do in my clinic space. So what big moves did I have to take? Yeah, the biggest move still was when I got divorced. When I got divorced in 2022, and he thinks I have all sorts of money, but I don't really know why he thinks that. He's a federal employee, and that's a very reliable salary until the current thing. But for the last 200 years, it's been a
Yeah.
very reliable salary. And that was why I opened the business, because if it failed, I had this reliable federal salary. Well, I don't have that. So failure is no longer an option. And so I'm really just having to step up my game, take action steps and risks that I never would have taken 5 or 10 years ago. And it's just forward. I'm moving forward.
Mm.
I'm not
What
sure if I answered your question anymore.
Oh, we'll get there, don't worry.
All
What's
right.
an example of one of the risks that you've had to take in that shift to doing to not having that government salary to fall back on?
Well, I owe myself, I think, $30,000 because the business does not have enough money to pay for the different trainings and things I'm doing. I was in a year-long program. I'm in this 12-week program now, and the one to get onto college campuses, that's its own program. And so I don't really like to be in debt, but that's part of what I'm learning is that I have to everybody knows this except for me. It took me a long time. I have to be willing to invest,
Mm.
and I'm really trying hard not to have to get a business loan. But yeah, I owe myself a lot of money. And I literally haven't saved one penny for retirement since the divorce. And so that's a little stressful. And at the same time, it's gonna be okay. It's
Yeah.
gonna be.
Yeah. Oh, look, there are so many stories of businesses that took a lot of time. Like even Amazon, they made a loss for the first 7 or 8 years before they ever made any money. Yeah. I've been collecting these stories as some evidence of. So imagine if, like, in year 2 or 3 or even year 4 or 5, they were just like, hey, this Amazon thing's not going to happen. And now it's worth what, billions? Right?
Okay, I appreciate you bringing that up because the word, people are asking me, what's the word? And I've been journaling it. The word is perseverance and consistency. Those
Yeah.
are my words. I
Mm.
have got to be consistent with building the business and I have to persevere no matter what gets thrown my way.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's so powerful and definitely something I think we all have to go through as business owners. And I mean, like sometimes you hear these stories of like, oh, I went full time in my business and 6 months later what is it? I quit my job and then 6 months later I was fully booked and all of these fun stories. But when you look, you see that that person has 10 years of sales experience or do you know what I mean? Like there's,
Yes.
there's
There's always more to the story.
Yes, exactly. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know, maybe I'm just looking for there to be more to the story. Like, and like I definitely like I love those people who have those overnight success stories. But for those of us who, it looks different and it has been different, myself included, it's just, yeah, I don't know. I really appreciate hearing that story of how like, you haven't paid yourself any money. I've been in a similar situation where, it's like everything goes back into the business and I'm happy to do that and just trusting that it's going to come out and it's going to come back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. That's what we have to do.
Yeah, definitely. So do you mind if I ask the program to get onto the college stages? So you're paying money to a group or something, like are they teaching you how to do that process, or is that part of, hey, we have the connections, we'll get you on there? Do you mind if I ask this question?
No. So the program is called They have so many different business names. I could send you a link if you want to include it in the show notes. But what they're doing is they seek speakers. And so it's run by a woman who is a lawyer, but she's also had several TED Talks, and her name is Salah Ward, but
Mm.
her name is spelled Neselaa. And it's Neve and Associates. So she has a law firm. She has all these different companies. So I will send you a link if your listeners might be interested. And so she has a 4-day incubator. And I really like it because she's pretty blunt. And she's just like, you can't suck. She's like, you can't want to come work with me if you suck. You have to be able to do something on stage. I was like, okay, I appreciate that. And so we had little homework assignments. We had to upload videos to her. And so then at the end, they're like, hey, we'd like to have a conversation with you. So then, it's an investment. It was a big investment. And now that I am in that program, I just joined in November. I have created a demo reel. So I have this 5-minute video, which I'm really happy with, just describing what it is I do. And this weekend, I'm actually going to Pennsylvania because there's a conference where there's thousands of students. I was at one a few weeks ago. There was 5,000 students. This one is probably a little bit smaller. And so we do mixed performances. My topic is on the pain and the mental fitness. And then the students are given money by their colleges and they're like, oh, we want her to come speak. And so they might book you on the spot to come speak at their college. Or I'm still doing follow-ups from the people, from a few weeks ago. I'm like, hey, it was great meeting at the conference. We had such a great conversation, etc. And so it's been a learning experience. It's fascinating. And I haven't yet had it work, but I'm just still so new. So I'm pretty excited about this because I
Mm.
like college kids. I think that's a cool age group and they really struggle. And there's ways that I think their life could be
Mm.
easier. And chronic pain, it hits them too.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that was my experience, but yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
could send you a link. They run that incubator. I don't know how often, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's been an interesting experience.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I was just asking about it from the perspective of like, I don't know, like the bravery of like investing money into something like this and was just wondering how that all worked and that kind of thing, which you've definitely answered. So yeah, thank you.
That was a huge leap of faith and bravery.
Yeah.
It was a lot of money. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like
More
what
than I've ever invested in anything.
what was your thought process before investing in that? Like, yeah, how did that shift go? I imagine there was a shift, right? Like,
Okay, so that's a good question. So I just am complete a year-long program, which I thought was about getting speaking gigs on stage. And It was, but it's more about doing online webinars and getting discovery calls from there. And
Okay.
so I learned a lot. I have no regrets doing that program. And I still think that I belong on the stage. I
Yeah.
still think I want to get my message out there. And so then when this came along, I was like, oh, I'll go to this incubator, whatever. And I was not thinking anything about it. And then I started listening to her. I'm like, oh, I like the sound of this. And then she said, there's 100 people here, whatever. By Wednesday, it'll be in half. And she goes, by the end, we might make an offer to two or three of you. And in that moment, I'm like, I want to be that person. And I'm not usually that confident. I'm like, there's no way they're going to do that. And then sure enough, they did. And then when they said the dollar amount, like I just was like, oh my gosh. And so then I was like, okay, here's the deal. I'm like, I'm going to be really honest with you and your listeners, is that I owe my brothers $175,000. They paid off my kid's dad so that I can live in this house. And they're like, oh. So they didn't take a ton off, but they took enough off that I was able to say, okay, yes, I can invest this amount.
Mm.
It was a
Mm.
big deal.
Yeah,
It
yeah. Oh,
was a really
definitely. Yeah.
big deal experience. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And please know there's absolutely no judgment here. I'm just like asking because I mean like I've had to invest in big programs. I've had situations where I invested big, like I still had a part-time income. I invested big in this 12-month like a 12-month mastermind. It was being run here in Australia. So like for a change, it was all in my time zone and all of that good.
Ah,
But the thing was, it's just like it was very much for people who were like running their business full time. And there was a lot of stuff that I couldn't keep up with and I was a different person at the time. This was a lot of years ago. Like we're talking, I don't know, 2018, 2019. So I was a very different person then. And so maybe there was a bit more of the excuses and the I don't have enough time or things like that going on. But yeah, I kind of had to back out of that investment just because it wasn't the right fit for me at that time. And yeah, like there was it just yeah, it wasn't quite right at that time. Though knowing who I am now and what I know now, I could probably go in no worries and do that kind of stuff. But yeah, even if I had
right.
a time job, but yeah, it's just I mean, I admire the huge investment that you made and that you know, like and I know it's going to pay off, right? Because you're doing
Thank you.
work and all of that stuff for sure. So yeah.
That program that wasn't the right time in 2019, what value or what good outcome did you get from it? Is there something big or small?
Yeah, I get amazing value out of everything, even if it's not the perfect fit for me at the right time. I always learn something.
That's
You
great.
know, yeah. So from that particular program, they had this awesome training day on doing public relations work.
Mm,
Yeah, like I traveled down to a different city for it, like, 7 hours away or something. I live in a small town here in Australia. And yeah, I got to learn all about, contacting journalists and how to do a press release and all that kind of stuff. Ironically, I have a degree in marketing from a university, but they don't teach you that real world stuff. They teach you
mm,
how to do in the 90s, they taught you how to do marketing in big companies,
mm.
here's how to work as part of a group. Here's how to do a presentation. And, here's how to do like some advertising a little bit, but it's sort of not real world stuff that I needed to really learn.
Yeah. I really admire, though, how you say no matter what you do, you get something from it. And I think that's really essential for
Yeah.
entrepreneurs. Is even before I had my own business, any continuing education course I would take, and some of them were pretty crappy, I always got a nugget or two. And
Yeah.
that's also part of the framework, that mental fitness, because every situation offers us a gift or opportunity. And even if it just seems so horrible, like honestly, divorce is generally not fun for most
Mm,
people. But now I can see endless gifts that have come from it. When I was in the throes of it, it was
mm,
horrible and scary and awful. And now I'm like fabulous, like one of the best things that ever happened to me. So
yeah.
I think that's important for
Mm.
entrepreneurs to know there's something good or some potential opportunity no matter what happens.
Yeah, yeah. Do you mind if I ask what's an example of one of the good things that came out from your divorce, if you don't mind me asking? Yeah.
How much time do you have? So I have three children, and my relationship with all three of my children is just glorious. We all lived in the same house. We all had our own struggles. And I also want to be clear, right? There are parts of the marriage and its demise that I need to own. But nonetheless, now that none of us are in that environment, and I don't know, they have a relationship with their dad. I don't know if they'd say it's better, worse, or same, but that's for them. But the relationship with my kids, and it's really adorable because they will often tell me, they're like, Mom, we see how hard you're working. We're really proud of you. And that's really nice. So with my kids, and my youngest is 18. And so he and we went through the journey, somewhat together, somewhat parallel, but now my relationship with him is a gift. And people ask me, I describe him as if I had to pick an 18-year-old out of a catalog, I would pick him. So,
Nice.
yeah. I told him that once and he's like, "What? Mom, you're weird." I'm like, "It's fine."
No, I like that. And I mean, gosh, that's definitely a position you want to be in for sure. Like having that kind of relationship and then just having like so much like love and respect and everything for the child you've raised. That's amazing.
This was not a house that they grew up in hearing that they were loved or saying I love you. And now he's very funny. He is always certain to tell me. And then a couple times he woke up a couple years ago and he was shout downstairs like, "Hello." And I didn't hear him or I was doing something. He's like, "Hello." Like not in an angry way, but just like, "I said hello." So yeah, it's really been great. And that would not have happened if we were still in that other living situation.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
And I mean, I imagine there was definitely some pluses to your business and things like without that divorce, you may not have gone all in the way that you did and everything too. Is that I'm
Oh,
just
you are right. I
yeah.
did not do any speaking. I have been receiving really good feedback that I am a good speaker, and all of that was stuffed down. I did not know. I'm a completely different human. I'm the same human, but I'm really a much different person since
Mm,
going through the divorce and
yeah.
allowing myself to be present. But
Mm,
I didn't know that I was living in a hole. Does that
yeah.
make
Oh, yes, very much so, very much so. I mean, for for me and my journey, like I started out like getting up in front of classes and stammering and stuttering through talks and things like that. And now I'm in this place and it's sort of for me it's been this thing of like, oh, actually this was in me the whole time. I just that belief that we talked about in the beginning was probably a huge part of it. For you, like what has been your process of like being more outgoing, being able to talk more? Like, was there some shifts or yeah, or was it just I feel free now and I'm saying things and leaning into that more, or was there more of a, I don't know, shift?
This goes back to the belief stuff,
Yeah.
is that I'm just so fortunate that I've had some really influential people believe in me and like kind of push me along. And, one of my PT mentors long ago, he's like, "Jen, you've got all these skills and abilities." He's like, "You do not have confidence in yourself." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know, blah, blah, blah." And then I teach pain science courses. And the first one, I was so anxious about doing it right that I almost think that they wanted to like not invite me back. And instead of that happening, the guy who's totally in charge, he's like, "Hey, what's up?" I'm like, "I don't know. I'm just trying my best." And he just talked me through it. And he's like, "You've got what it takes." And I've been on a good path of speaking since then. They've asked me to come speak at conferences. And so having influential people who I respect in my field believe in me
Hmm.
has helped me take a second look.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Although I still think there's a decision that comes from us as well, because mean, at different times where I've had people encouraging me, I used to just shake it off, like my self-confidence or whatever. I'd just be like, oh yeah, that's them. They're just being nice. They're just saying stuff. If you're at that right place though, and you can just take it on and just be like, yeah, I'm actually gonna believe that. Like let's do this, you know. Yeah.
That's what's happened in the last 2 to 3 weeks is that I have decided that 2025 is my breakout year. And so I've been working on the mindset work there. And then that bomb of realizing that everyone believes in me more than I believe in myself, that's just ridiculous. And when I really was able to just recognize in myself that that's ridiculous and I'm holding myself back, I am probably my biggest limitation to my business soaring,
Mm,
but not anymore because I
yeah.
changed it.
Ooh, oh my gosh. Please keep in touch. I want to hear how this year goes with that shift
Okay.
thing. I've I've gone through similar shifts in the past myself, but then for me, when my business takes off, then sometimes that triggers the chronic pain. And so then there's been kind of, it's like this accelerator brake thing. And yeah, this is what I'm working through now to try and navigate this way through so that it's like, oh, because
Right.
I hear the
Pacing.
when I hear the thing, it's breakout year, part of me goes, oh, I want to have one of those too. But in my head, a breakout year feels like you've got to be on 110% all day, every day for 52 weeks a year. And it's like finding that, actually, no, you can have a breakout year and have rest periods. You can pull back. It's just,
I am going to have a breakout year,
yeah,
still adhering to all of my health dedication because I'm very dedicated to health things. And I like to say that I work frequently, but I don't work constantly.
yeah,
Because I'm not that person who's going to work 24/7. I'm not even that person who's going to work 10 or 12 hours 5 days a week. So I do like to be efficient with my time.
mm,
I refer to as GSD. I just like to get shit done. Like,
yeah.
let's just go. Let's not dawdle. Let's be efficient.
Yeah, yeah. My brain appreciates you reiterating that side of things because like part of me gets very excited about all the big leaps and the this and it's yeah, keeping that balance for me. So thank you.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
I I just know that I would crash and burn, and
Yeah.
my goal is to live to 110. So if I burn the candle now, I'm not going to make it that long.
None of this die young, live good looking corpse types.
No, that's so funny.
Sorry.
No, pass.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. It's the for me the romantic side of my personality or the one that loves the stories and the movie stories and things like that. It's like yeah, I don't know. Sometimes that could be, this is going to sound crazy. I don't know why I'm saying this on a podcast, but like sometimes in part of my brain that seems like it could be this awesome, like romantic ending or epic ending or something like that. Of like having gone for everything, laid it all out and, done everything you can. And like, although in my pursuit of that, it has burnt me out a number of times. It has, chronic pain flare-ups, other chronic illnesses.
So what does your epic ending look like while attending to your health?
Yeah, this is really interesting. So I don't know about my epic ending, but like the epicness of running my business now, more it's calm with these flashes of fun and excitement, but it's just calm, it's confident, it's trusting, it is efficient, effective. It works. I don't know why I'm saying it. I work, like anywhere from 3 to 5 hours a day, depending on what's going on, 4 days a week. There's rest time, there's looking after my health and just all of these kinds of things. But even as I say that, there's a part of my brain that's just like, oh, but that's not the epic business. There's definitely stuff I need to unwire about the whole getting to the big money or the bigger business and how that looks and yeah.
In one of the business programs I did with some intelligence is they really promote not working 24/7. And the same with the year-long one that I'm just finishing up. And they're like, how much do you want to make in a year? So whatever, say $100,000 because we're going to keep it simple. And then, okay, well, how many hours do you want to work in a week? I was like, okay, I only want to work 10 hours a week. We're going to do easy math.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
then that means that your hourly rate needs to be $1,000 an hour. Okay, well, we know that's not going to happen, but you can just take your goal, the
Yeah.
number of hours you want to work, and then, okay, how are you going to make it work so that you can have the time invested match the dollars you want to get to your end goal?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Mm, yeah, definitely. Oh, more the thing is like, yeah, my brain has these little whispers and stuff like that of like, yes, I can break that down and that sounds good and like I am doing the less hours now. My body won't let me do more, and it's like I have to watch that side of things. But yeah, it's there's a little whispers sometimes of like, oh, but if you really want it, you could just work a little bit harder, or like this that whole
On
hard
some
work.
days, you
Yeah,
might be able to work a little bit harder.
yeah.
And also keep in mind what happens when you push through. How long do you pay for it?
Oh yeah,
Days, weeks, months,
yeah,
right? So then that extra 2 days of a hard push, then you had to pay for it with 2 weeks of not being able to do much. Was
mm,
that worth it? Versus, you know what, I'm going to do an extra 10 or 15 minutes today.
yeah,
You can have an epic business, Tiffany, and still attend to your health and nervous system.
yeah. Oh, okay. Thank you for saying that. That's definitely, yeah, thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. Okay. So then tell me, what brave things do you have coming up in the next few months, and yeah, and also like how you work with people and all of that good stuff.
The biggest thing is really sticking to this wealth builder program that I'm in that's 12 weeks long, but I'm just planning to like cycle myself through it, even though I'm not officially in it anymore. And that is a huge push on consistency. So doing things intentionally to build the business 15 minutes to 2 hours a day. And that's not something I was doing. And so I'm really looking forward to being dedicated to that in the coming months. And, it's easy to just choose to do something else that's more fun, right? I mean, there's lots of parts of the business that are more fun than, finding emails. So, anyway, so I really want to attend to that. And then I am just staying on this path.
Mm.
I'm not planning on investing anymore for a very long time because I want to follow through on Wealth Builder and I want to follow through on this college tour thing and make it happen.
Yeah. Oh, amazing. Do you mind if I ask what's an example of something that's in the Wealth Builder program that you're working on the 15 to 2 hours, if you don't mind me asking?
Okay, so they talk about fractals and they're like you pick one fractal. So in terms of like generating appointments on your calendar and generating then a client, pick something and do it over and over again rather than, doing something else. And so the five fractals are direct outreach,
Mm.
networking, referrals, podcasts and public speaking, and writing. And
Mm.
so my focus is I do like doing podcasts, obviously,
Yeah.
but then also the direct outreach is what I'm working on. Because I had a session with the coach and he's like, Jen, he goes, podcasts and speaking are great. He goes, but they're not going to generate income fast. He's like, you need and want income now. And I'm like, that's right. And so that is why I'm doing more direct outreach and referrals. So I'm writing to old clients saying, hey, here's what I'm doing. If you know anybody, and I'm even like giving them like 3 paragraph options so they can cut and paste if they want to send it to their friends.
Mm.
And I am really reaching out to people on LinkedIn. So I'm trying to be much more present on LinkedIn and interacting and building, that know, like, and trust there. So those are the things that I'm learning from Wealth Builder. And, this week's topic was about failure. Failure? Is it failure? It's
Yeah.
not. It's really an
Yeah.
opportunity to learn. So a lot of reframing
Mm.
these unhelpful beliefs that I've had and been holding on to for all these years.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I love that so much. And I know that you like the podcast side. I noticed that the more I did my podcasting and speaking more, the more it improved my abilities when I was talking to people in the one-on-ones and the DMs and the outreach and everything, because like you fall into these spiels or just, yeah, you know your stuff. And like I find it works together quite well. So,
I think that is dead on. Yeah. And I learned this in the year-long program. When you're giving your offer, which we all stumble over, but they're like, you need to say your offer as smoothly as you can say, pass the salt, please. And
mm,
that's just such a great thing, right? Nobody freaks
yeah,
out saying pass the salt unless you have high blood pressure and your mother is yelling at you. But nonetheless, I would practice that, right? So I receive X dollars for X months. And I don't get anxious in that moment before like I used to. And if
mm,
they're like, no thanks, not yet, I can handle that so much better too.
yeah, yeah. Oof. I love that so much. Oh, so many good things that you've shared with us today. That has been awesome.
You.
There was something that you wanted to make sure that we mentioned about working with chronic pain and your 6-month program. Tell us a little
Yeah.
bit more about that.
So it's not uncommon for professionals and entrepreneurs to struggle with chronic pain. It's not a coincidence. And, people often think that you have to be in person. Sometimes you need the body work, and a lot of times you don't. So I do have a 6-month online program, and it is combining all of those things we talked about with pain science and a dive into the mental fitness, really with the intention of I always say the goal is I want people to fire me
Mm,
because they're doing well and they have the strategies to get where they need to be. And so that is an option for your listeners.
mm. Oh, oh, amazing. Thank you so much, Jen. We will, of course, have all of links to all of your stuff in the show notes. But for
Thank
people
you.
like me who are like, screw the show notes, I'm just going to go to Instagram or wherever right now, where should people go to find you?
The best place to find me where I'm most active is LinkedIn. I gave up on Instagram and I'm really shying away from Facebook, but that's the best place to find me.
Mm,
And then I have the best website is
mm.
iriseforme.com. And so that's a good place. And then if you have listeners that are interested in the 6-month program, I'd be happy to offer 10% off for your listeners.
Oh, amazing. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of the stories that you have shared. There's so much for me to think about on the business side and the chronic pain side, and for myself, balancing those two together. This has been an amazing conversation, and I know I'll be thinking about it all day and probably in the weeks to come. So thank you so much,
Oh,
Jen.
I'm so glad. And just remember, Tiffany, your epic business is waiting for you.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
If you're a new coach who's ready to finally sign your first 2 high-ticket clients, but you're stuck wondering what you're missing, then the Brave Coach Breakthrough is for you. It's my 3-month one-on-one coaching program where we blend strategy and mindset to help you confidently sign clients without feeling salesy. Spots are limited. Book your free strategy call now to see if this is the right fit for you. Come over to tiffanygstudios.com, TIFFANY G for golf, STUDIOS.com, or find me over on Instagram at Tiffany G Studios and DM me the word breakthrough to get a link to book your call. Let's get you paid to coach and change lives. Thanks for listening to the Business Bravery Podcast. Has this episode inspired you to do something brave? Even if it's only send a difficult email, please share it with me on Instagram or other social media channels. Feel free to tag me at Tiffany G Studios. That's TIFFANY G for golf, STUDIOS, no spaces, no underscores, etc. Or you can use the hashtag Business Bravery Podcast so that I can cheer you on and together we can inspire other coaches and course creators to do brave things in their business and life. Now, I'm Tiffany, and I'll leave you with this one last thing. What's one brave thing you're going to do today? It doesn't have to be big. Even the smallest steps can create the most massive results. So again, feel free to share it with me either publicly or privately so that I can cheer you on. That's it from me. Until next time, bye for now.